Hello, it's Uncommon Fossil, and today I want to take a look at some of the new cards from Shrouded Fable and consider what do they bring to block Snorlax, because until it rotates, and I'll be glad when it rotates, block Snorlax is one of the best decks around. It's great for making progress on the ladder and does very well in a lot of online tournaments as well. So it's a strong deck. You want to be able to play it or to play against it. So every set has some new options for it, and just want to see what this has. How does this make Snorlax better potentially? So I'm going with a very vanilla, boring version of Snorlax. There are better builds of Snorlax, like Chi-Yu, Cornerstone, Mask Ogerpon, and stuff make the deck better. But I want to ignore it. Keep the deck simple to test out these new cards. I have 3 new cards in particular I want to consider. Genesect with Ace Nullifier. If this Pokemon has a tool attached, your opponent can't play any Ace-Specs cards from their hands, so potentially that sounds quite nice. I'm playing Xerosic's Machinations, Supporter. Your opponent discards cards from the hand until I have 3 cards in hand. We want to deck them out and just get rid of possibilities, so discarding down a lot of cards. I like that a lot. And then also Neutralization Zone, a stadium. It prevents all damage done to Pokemon that don't have a rule box, such as Snorlax, so great there, by attacking your opponent's EX and V Pokemon, so that's very nice there. So even if they can get an EX or V into the active to attack our Snorlax, they can't do damage with it. So just adding another win condition to us in our deck. As a stadium, it's vulnerable to being discarded from play, and even if it goes to the discard pile, it says on it that it can't be put into the hand or the deck from the discard pile. So that's definitely a downside, but I do like the option that it brings to this deck. So, and I'm not including here Night Stretcher, which definitely could go in the deck, but I didn't put it in, or Pheasant Deputy EX. That again could go in the list, but not considering that. These 3 cards I think are the strongest 3 cards to Snorlax, and I want to give them a test. So let's take a look at the deck in action, and then I'll talk about the 60 and my thoughts for the deck list modifications after that. I got the bug, which I don't know if I've actually seen it before, and I hadn't heard it reported in a while, where it was my opponent didn't have a top. My female opponent was topless to start the game. It was just where their top was, it was just blank with seeing the background. It was a little odd. So that was a lot odd. I will grant you that. So just a chuckle from that. Also, I believe I selected the correct deck. This is for the Snorlax test, and starting Pidgeot V, which of course is the one Pokemon I don't want to start, but see what happens. It's okay. It can be okay. Last time I did that, I was not able to. I went second, and I had Arven turn 1. I couldn't get Forest Seal Stone. It wouldn't work live. Being glitchy the way it likes to be, and that's not great. So when that happens, so what was my opponent's hand, by the way? Okay, Curlia. Well, I'm not loving Curlia. I will say that. Okay, so Rotom V. I have a Snorlax. No Ace-Spec seems good. Okay, my stadium potentially. That might play the stadium as well. There was the first 100 person tournament in the new format, so I'm not going to have access to Xerosic's Machinations. That's a bit sad, but is what it is. I'm not going to drop down Artazon because that helps my opponent for sure. I might drop down Genesect. I'll save that for next turn. I do have a tool I could drop on it, but I think it's okay, right? I think it's okay. All right, got Snorlax. Forest Seal Stone is good, so not a bad start. Look, Gardevoir EX is not a matchup I like at all. Yeah, I'm probably going to lose this game because they can attack with everything. I mean, look, the one Pokemon that can't afford to play is Radiant Greninja, and as long as they have enough sense to do that, it's pretty much a win. And even if I stall something out, they can keep moving damage counters over with Munkidori, right? That's not good for me either, right? So in theory, even if I get like Radiant Greninja stuck, I might not win. Now, if I can slow them down enough, they will deck out eventually, and that's where having Xerosic's Machinations would be good in the game. But I don't think. I imagine they're not going to get that into play. So Munkidori, this is good, and they get the Psychic Energy because they want to retreat him after this turn. Now I want to get Munkidori stuck in the active, I think, That would be good for me. At this point, I don't have the ability to get him out of play, though. So we'll see what happens. Stopping Prime Catcher would be good, too. So I'll have to think about this. Okay, I have Switch Cart for Snorlax. I like that. So I'm going to send up Snorlax, and I can get rid of the Pidgey. I want to get... Might as well get the Force Seal Stone back in the deck, I think. So let me get down my Xerosic Machinations. So Star Alchemy first. That's what I want. Look for my one card. Get Genesect down. And what was the other ace spec I play? And is that one missing as well? Neutralization Zone. Wait, maybe it's here. I haven't gotten far enough. Okay, that's good as well. That's in there. But I think I'll wait on that. Drop this guy down. Toss this on there. Shuffle you back in the deck. I don't want you in play, really. And draw some cards. So not a bad setup. Okay, Accompanying Flute's really good because I want to get something stuck in play that they can't attack with ideal, right? And if all they can do is move a few damage counters with Monkey Dory every turn, that's not terrible, right? That's the focus here, right? And even giving up a prize or even a couple prizes it's okay, right? With this deck, you don't need to rush to. You don't want to fight too hard to not give up prizes. I've made that mistake early on with the deck. With this deck, you want to fall behind in prizes. You want to be able to use counter catches. So you have 4 counter catches in the deck. If you can't utilize your counter catch, if you fight too much, like with pennies, to avoid giving up prizes, then it just gets too difficult. All right, Moonlit Hill. This is a discard. Okay, so discarding. So I want to bump that stadium for sure. So they damage me. I'm confused. Don't care about that, certainly. They can't play Prime Catcher. I'm pleased about that. Let's see, what do I hit here? Anything? No. Okay, well, that's unfortunate there. I'll bump their stadium because I don't really want that, right? And I don't really think I don't really need to bench another Snorlax, right? At some point I do. You know, I'm going to toss one down now because with their damage and their spreading stuff, I want to... Okay, Luxurious Cape. That could be useful. I didn't love that in deck. Look, the reason I'm playing Luxurious Cape, I much preferred Hero's Cape. Now, a lot of lists played Hero's Cape and Luxurious Cape. And I might have, and certainly played it at some point in time for sure. So 60 there. That's fine. I think I just want to give him the knockout here. That's what I'm thinking. I think that's what I do. I'll just draw some cards. They probably play another stadium is my guess. So my thought is I will let them... So I want counter catcher probably. I really want to get something else in play though too, right? So we'll see what the game plan is here. We'll see what the game plan is. Getting the Gardevoir EX stuck in the active. If I can get the Gardevoir stuck in the active and get my neutralization zone, I think is the stadium, to stick, then that becomes a win condition as well, right? They can't take any prizes at that point. Now, they probably play a Lost Vacuum and such, so it's, we'll see what they do. They can retreat. They can put some damage onto them. If they damage themselves, then they can put 3, then they knock me out. They might want to knock me out this turn. And I'm okay with that, though. Drifloon, he hits my bench. No, he hits my active, so he's actually pretty, I'm fine with him. I don't like them hitting my bench so much. That concerns me, I will say. I don't know that at this point, I don't think I want to do my stadium yet. I think I want to just keep putting some pressure on them. The stadium, so they're gonna take out Rotom V. They're taking out the Genesect. Okay, so they don't like the Genesect. They're going to probably knock out my Snorlax as well. Right? They can move 30 damage onto my Snorlax once they start putting damage. I assume they're gonna retreat, send up the Drifloon, take a knockout with Monkey Dory on my active, and they're going to move damage and take out my Snorlax. Take 2 prizes this turn. That's what I'm guessing. And then I need a good turn. I need to get a little lucky here too, right? This is where This build of Snorlax, the dumb Snorlax, or boring Snorlax I call it, but I think it's really dumb Snorlax. It doesn't really have options. It's dumb in that I don't make a lot of decisions, right? My decision making for me is very limited with this deck. So anyway, they want to be able to use Prime Catcher, I assume. They might play some other A-Spec. I don't know. I mean, they could play the Stadium. I guess they can't play that either, right? Which is true. There's just the one A-Spec Stadium. So if I drop down my A-Spec Stadium, they can't bump that. So anyway, it's unfortunate I can't play Xerosic's Machinations. But so I assume they're retreating. They're selecting cards from something. I assume they're. Oh, I wonder if the Monkey Dory is not fixed yet. Because there was a bug with Monkey Dory. When you had Psychic and Darkness Energy, you went to retreat. It wouldn't let you choose which energy to discard, because I want to discard the Psychic Energy. That's a given. But it might force them to... it might end up discarding the Darkness Energy. It might not let them choose. Yeah, so that's what happened, because they wanted to get rid of the Psychic Energy. You got to know that. So the game wouldn't let them choose. So the game's still bugged in that regard with Monkey Dory. So... they needed to retreat before they attached the Psychic Energy to it. I will say that. I guess I send up Snorlax here. Yeah, because if I get a Switch Cart, that's not bad also. What do I want to do here? I want to do something here, that's for sure. I want to do something. So I'll Arven, I guess, at this point. Get Accompanying Flute. Oh, I do have this tool. Handheld Fan's not bad, actually. Hopefully I can get something onto the bench. That's really important for me. Do I want another Drifloon? I don't really, right? I don't think I want him in play, right? Actually, you know, how many energies they attach? 3, 6. No, I don't think I want him to play. So that's fine there. And I will... I'll do Handheld Fan, I guess. Attach it here. Because if they get darkness energy attached, they're gonna they want to utilize that this turn and take out the Snorlax, I assume. Because they wanted a 2-prize turn. That was what they expected last turn. That's what I expected as well. I forgot the game. I wasn't sure. I know the game had been glitched with Monkey Dory. It still is. Live, unfortunately, isn't really all that good. That's not a shock to anybody, of course, right? We all knew that to be the case. So, look, I have my Stadium, and I might be able to win the game just by that Stadium might just win me the game. I have to get the Gardevoir, the EX stuck, of course, into the active. That's certainly possible there. Erika's Invitation. Let's see, what do we got here? Nothing there. That's unfortunate. That's very sad for me. Do I want to drop down another Snorlax? Let me rod back both those guys. Maybe I drop back down the... I don't think I... just do this here. It's fine. I'm trying to think. Did I want to use my level ball? So I got Flute in hand. That's good, right? I want to get something else on the bench. Ideally, Radiant Greninja, which I'm sure they play in the deck, right? It's not in the discard pile at the moment. So Prime Catcher. You're gonna snag 2 prizes, I assume. And that's okay. Monkey Dory. Okay. I mean, that one's a bit odd, right? I guess they want to retreat the Monkey Dory. Okay, they want another energy in the discard pile, which they didn't need to do, but it solves the issue if they have to well, I mean, so see what happens here. So they need more 6. They need 1 more energy. They need 1 more damage counter, and now they have knockout 8. So they're doing 240 now. Drifloon's damage output is tremendous, right? It really is. It's a scary Pokemon, for sure. So, see what happens here. Definitely a game where I could win, but, it's looking slim. It's looking slim. So they played their A-Spec, so don't have to worry about that, unless they play Cyllene, of course. I think I need to get my stadium in play, right? I think that's what needs to happen. So what do I want to do here? So I will... Let me Accompanying Flute, see what I hit here. That just makes a ton of sense. That is awesome there. That is great. So counter catcher there. So that could be game, right? I will do this. I think I want... Do I want Iono at this point? I would really love to get my stadium, right? I would love to get that stadium at this point. Just put some more pressure on them. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna miss Fortune Sisters because that's just potentially good at this point. And obviously end turn at this point. And yeah, just end turn. So see what happens. Can I make it work? Maybe. You know, obviously I used Genesect, and look, my opponent respects Genesect because they gusted him up. They're going to start putting damage on me, but I have Penny in deck, so that's the good thing. They only have one Monkey Dory in deck, so that part's okay. So, you know, they're going to start hitting me with damage, and then I Penny, right? And I Penny occasionally. And eventually they will run out of energies in damage counters. That's the other thing, right? They can't do damage, move damage beyond. They have to accelerate energy every time. And if I'm not letting them retreat, then there's really not much that they can do. I guess I'm going to... I'll just end turn, I guess, at this point, right? No, I should... Let's see what they have in hand. See what I can get rid of, right? So that's good. Drifloon. Okay. Just get rid of some cards there. And I will end turn. At some point, I tossed out Neutralization Zone. Now, Drifloon, of course, is good too for them. So and the only way Neutralization matters this game now is if they have like a Penny or Professor Turo's scenario to get Radiant Greninja out of play. But then I need to Neutralization Zone, and so I'm just going to keep letting do this. Eventually, I Penny Snorlax out of play, right? I mean, they can only do 30 per turn, so I'm not real worried about it, I got to say. That's the nice thing at the moment. So, I guess I'll... do I want a Team's Yell's Cheer? Let me see what I can get. Can I get something I want? Yeah. Eri. I'd rather have Misfortune Sisters, right? Let's see. Do I have that? Arven. So I'll Eri. I'd rather have Misfortune Sisters, like I said, but I'll Eri. See what I get. 2 cards, just thinning, getting rid of things. They do have Boss in hand, so... But this is where I now... Seeing the Boss is really good, too, because now I just keep Snorlax in play. That's it. I have multiple pennies, so I'm just going to scoop up the penny at some point. And I'm good to go. So I think so 90 there. So I do it. I'll wait till the next turn, I guess, right? So I will at this point Team Yell's Cheer, get Misfortune Sister, Eri into play, into hand, because I really like that. I like that a lot. And end turn there. Like I said, neutralization. If I couldn't get Radiant Greninja in play, the Neutralization Zone is the other win condition for me. But I have to get that to stick, right? That's just a question, right? Like I said, they probably play Lost Vacuum. So I need to Penny this turn. If they Iono me this turn, well, they only take 1 prize, right? I don't know if they can take a second prize anyway, right? Because they're down to 20 damage cards. They have 1... No, they don't have any Psychic Energy in the discard pile. So I will Penny you up. That's great there. Just give me some switching options just in case I feel like I need it. Not going to put the Cape on because that could cost me game, right? Cape could be a game ender. So Okay, that's good there. And, you know, get the Radiant Greninja, what, Accompanying Flute, I believe is what it is still right, that, which was in the set before this, I believe. Twilight Masquerade, I'm pretty sure was the previous set. Very good card for this deck. So at some point, you know, the game's getting pretty stinking boring, I will say that. And that's about that, right? So, I mean, Arven, what do I have here? So I have Pidgeot V in deck. Okay, so might as well tool, might as well. Oh, that's nice, actually. Okay. And I'll just end turn at this point, try to get rid of some cards next turn. I have Pidgeot V, so unless they turn off Pidgeot V's ability, I'm not going to deck out, so, right? So we'll see what happens. It just looks like this is just going to be a grind down game. Not getting it, you know, not showcasing the new cards, obviously partly showing I don't want to bend. I know they have boss, so I do not play Genesect, right? That's one thing I don't do here. Genesect would be terrible. That hopefully doesn't lose me the game, but it could. It could. All right. No items there. That's unfortunate. And just end turn. And obviously I don't drop Rotom V down. That would lose me the game. They would just boss, take out the Rotom V. They could retreat. Assume, you know, as long as they have energy in hand, of course. I'm assuming they do, but you know, I don't even know if they do or not. So I'll just end turn. I guess I could flash the Pidgeot V. Although I started this game, I think I had Pidgeot V on my first. I started, I think, right? Maybe not. I'm losing track of that. All right, I'll use this. Grab. Their hand is nice and big, so I will try to Eri. Just get rid of some cards, right? That's the goal. Just speed up the end game here. What else do they have, by the way? Okay. They do have their stadium, so I don't want to drop down my stadium. So I'll just end turn. You know, just kind of keep doing the actions that are pertinent to this deck. I don't want to, you know, just the games are slow. That's part of Snorlax, right? It's not the. This is why I call it boring Snorlax. So this game is. What did I play Eri last turn? I think I did, right? So I don't really want to play Eri this turn. What do I have? Do I have one or two Misfortune Sisters in deck? So, in the discard. Pal Pad back. Let's see. Team Yell Cheer, because that's really important to going infinite. And that. Misfortune Sisters, because I want that for sure. And I will just end turn there. You know, I really do wish I had Xerosic's Machination, whatever the exact phrasing of it is. That obviously this game shows the power of that for sure. So I don't really have anything useful here, right? So end turn. At some point, my opponent's probably going to play. Do they have Iono in deck still? I don't remember if they had it in hand. I've seen their hand, obviously. They haven't played Iono, so they must have Iono in there. Their timer's lower than mine, so that's important to pay attention to as well. And I may have to start, you know, I might get to Pidgeot V being my last card in deck, but as long as they can't shut down my ability, right, then I'm okay. So just end turn there. I could Eri soon as well, right? At some point I want to Eri because they're drawing cards, right? So they probably have a couple. As long as I have 2 items, just getting rid of 2 cards means 2 less cards when that Iono play comes, right? That's the other thing. So I'm going to play Eri at this point. See what I get. Hopefully nothing. Nothing. Okay. Let's see. They play 2 Iono, so this game could go on a long time, unfortunately. And that, you know, that is what it is. I'm not going to worry about that. I have Pidgeot V. I'm not going to deck out. And of course, even without Pidgeot V, my hand, I think I have more cards in my hand than my opponent. They have 17. I'm not sure what I have. I think more. Obviously, I have more cards in my discard pile, but so end turn Mimikyu, which is good in this deck as well. That's the one counter besides Snorlax in the deck, right? Mimikyu. I kind of feel like it's part of the generic build because it's been around longer. It's not necessarily fair. I do think Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon is really good too. Let's see, do I have anything? All right, getting rid of a card. Screamtail. Okay, that's all fine. Just speeding the game up, right? Getting to the end of the game one turn sooner because I think this may come down to the end. Now at the end, I'm just gonna, if depending what happens, I'm just gonna Pidgeot V back. I'm guessing they're gonna play Iono, right? They have 2 Ionos, and I'm thinking they're going to use them. That's my guess, right? So end turn here. Just have to make sure I don't deck myself out, of course, right? They have a stadium, but they can't utilize. They might have some energy in deck, but I have Penny, and I can just scoop guys up, so they can't take 2 prizes here. And I'll just end turn again. So Pidgeot V, wow, going to be maybe my last card in deck, which is fine. You know, if Pidgeot V was prized and Hisuian Heavy Ball, then I'm in a ton of trouble, right? Then I would deck myself out with this game. All right, I'll just end turn. I'll play Pidgeot V next turn. I imagine my opponent's going to play Iono, unfortunately. I just figure I'll go to no cards in deck, play the Pidgeot V, and just make that my only card in deck so they then see my infinite scenario. That's part of why, look, Snorlax, Black Snorlax is too powerful. Pidgeot V, just making it infinite with a one-card combo, just way too simplistic too, is what I'll say. So Vanishing Wings, send you back in, and just say end turn. Wait, did I have Eri? I mean, I should have played Eri, I guess, at that point if I had it, right? They may have 1 or 2 items. Are they going to play Iono? This is the big question, right? Do they play Iono or not? So they do. All right, so here's the deal. I think I'm going to win this game. So I'm going to kind of pause. I'm going to keep recording, but my guess is my opponent's not going to do anything else the rest of this game other than play another Iono. So I'm going to kind of just pause till the game. Either something happens, in which case I will let you know about that, or you know, when I end the game, win the game at the end. All right, and got the concession. My opponent played their final Iono, and rather than going through drawing out the rest of their cards, they did finally concede. You know, they did manage to waste a bunch of my time. That was their goal. They wasted their time as well. And you know, that's the look. I don't love Snorlax, but hey, you got to understand it's in the format. They did, obviously. They you know, they avoided putting down their Radiant Greninja. What they needed to do, I didn't get the Radiant Greninja in play for a while. So their really only solution would have been to fill up their bench with Psychic Pokemon, so they could all attack. Right? That would have been their option. And in which case, the Neutralization Zone was the only option. Now. It showed the power of Genesect because my opponent wanted to knock it out. They were concerned about that. And then also it did show Xerosic's Machinations because I really wish I had that in hand to play because that would have been very good. It showed that I would have liked it because it would have ended that game sooner, but got the W, showed the power of Snorlax. All right, got the win the first game, a slow game. Fortunately had the Xerosic's Machinations prized. And my opponent kind of dragged things out, filling up their hand in Ionoing. So that's where Xerosic's Machinations would have really shined. It would have been very crushing to that. I'm thinking I might want to. I think that's definitely keeper in the deck, maybe even 2 copies. But like I said, I'll hit my final thoughts at the end of the game. Assuming this game goes successful, this will probably be my 2 games are probably at plenty. So my opponent knows what I'm playing now. Misfortune Sisters, Eri, Xernea's Machinations, Accompanying Flute, Handheld Fan. One thing they might be deciding if they want to play the game or not, or they want to concede. I don't know what their deck is, how, there's some decks that just really struggle against Snorlax. There's some decks that do pretty well, and there's a lot of decks that, if played properly, can deal with Snorlax, right? But Accompanying Flute means I have the potential to get any Pokemon in play. I can't get Pokemon from the Discard pile to play. Which, that's always an issue. But anyway, taking a mulligan. I have a decent amount of basic Pokemon. They're all basics, right, in this deck. Just 1, so I would have certainly preferred not to take any mulligan. I'll chuck up the Mimikyu. He's, always send up the wall Pokemon first. I assume they're going to take their card, and I assume they know I'm playing stall, and they're not going to bench anything that they don't want to. Oh, they have to start reading Greninja though, so that could be bad. That could be big trouble for them. That could be big trouble. If it's like a Gen Pal Baxcalibur, of course, they can attack with Radiant Greninja. But if they're assuming they can't, most decks that play Radiant Greninja can't attack with it. Fluttermane, so that means they can always retreat when he's inactive, but I can send up Radiant Greninja. So once I give a prize, Radiant Greninja is pretty good. So I boss up Radiant Greninja, and I can kind of make things happen. So, as long as they can't scoop up that Radiant Greninja, I'm okay. And as long as they can't attack with it. I'm assuming they can't attack with it, though, right? Is it... so we'll see exactly what this deck... how this game goes here. So I'm guessing it's a Raging Bolt, right? I'm assuming, because it's an ancient and Fluttermane, they can get energy on it with their Professor Sada's whatever the card is, the supporter. Man, was it Professor? Is it Sada's Vitality? And I can't remember now what it is. Vigor. Anyway, the one that accelerates to up to 2, 1 energy to up to 2 ancient Pokemon. I assume, right, that's why the Fluttermane's there. Fluttermane, of course, means they can, if they send up the Fluttermane, then they can retreat, but the Radiant Greninja's in play. So they play Switch Cart. So, okay, they didn't retreat from the active. I think that probably wasn't the best play on their part. 2 Accompanying Flutes prize, so that's not ideal. My 4 Seal Stones prize, that's not good. Let me get down Snorlax. I do want to get, I think I want a Switch Cart and something else. I would have grabbed, because I think I want to start having them to Switch Cart, and I'll do Handheld Fan, so if they get the knockout, I think that's the play there. Attach here, so, they should have retreated last turn. They chose not to. They do play Switch Cart, right? But the idea is make them, they can only switch so many times, right? That's the goal here. Pheasantipity could go in the deck as well, which I'm not playing of the new cards. I'm not sure. Night Stretcher I would put in the deck. I'm not playing it in this build. Okay, Secret Box is a very nice card for them. Professor Sada's Vitality, yeah. So they ditched 2 of those. Okay, I mean, they obviously have to be careful because they dig through a lot of cards. They draw through their deck pretty decently too. So, we'll see what happens here. Obviously, see what they grab. They can get Switch Cart. They probably play 4 Switch Carts, I guess. I'm not sure. They play Switch Cart. They play multiple Switch Carts. I would think at least 3. I don't fully know what the counts are for the deck. So they're going to Switch Cart. They're going to take the knockout. I sent a Mimikyu. That's not terrible. I need to get... This is awkward, though. The fact that I didn't get another Snorlax in play isn't good. The fact that I really was hoping to hit a Snorlax off the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Then I would have been in really good shape, because I would have got a second Snorlax up. Then I could just grab my counter catcher with the Arven, and I'll be good to go. And I didn't hit a Snorlax or a Nest Ball off a Rotom V's ability. So, things are less ideal, are not ideal here, I will say. Accompanying Flute, though, I'm pleased to play that. So, right, they grab Boss, right? No, they grab Switch Cart. So they chose not to play it. Oh, wait, they grab Switch Cart, right? And they didn't use it? Well, that's not... I gotta take advantage of that, right? So I have to get rid... I have Eri here, so... I mean, I'd love another Snorlax in play. Do I drop this guy down? Yeah, I think I do. He's a bit of a concern. He is. But they didn't play the Switch Cart, so that means they're leaving me open. They left me open to Eri. That was, they have Boss though, so but Boss isn't the worst thing in the world either. They shouldn't have grabbed Switch Cart and not played it. That was a big mistake, I will say. So they're gonna gust up the Rotom V, probably knock him out. That's okay. The Mimikyu, obviously Fluttermane, one-shots him. So we'll see what happens. I need to get another Snorlax in play. That's what needs to happen here. The Mew EX is not ideal, but you know, it's about keeping this Radiant Greninja stuck in the active. That's really the goal. And they probably play Penny in deck though too, right? Oh, taking out the Mimikyu? Okay. I assume did they have Precipice's Vitality when I looked? I'm guessing they do, right? I'm guessing they do. I have Arven, so if they knock out my active, I do have Counter Catcher, so that's really good there. And do they have, okay, I guess they don't have Precipice's Vitality, so they could have sent up the Mew. All right. I mean, now they can utilize Ogerpon's ability. I need to get another Snorlax down. That's the problem. Until I get a second Snorlax in play, I'm very vulnerable right now. Because at this point, they're gonna if they don't take the knockout, then I can Arven for Nest Ball, and I'm okay. That's what I do then, right? That's the play. But we'll see what happens here. Right? They attach by hand, right? They haven't played a supporter though, right? I don't believe. Let's see. No. Oh, they bossed. That's right. They played boss. So, I mean, if they can't take the knockout though, they're really setting themselves back a lot. I will say. A lot. So if they don't, what I'll do is I'll look for a boss if I can and gust up Radiant Greninja. Just make them, because they can get him out, obviously, of the active. But I'd love to hit boss here. I didn't. So I'll grab the Penny though. Penny's pretty good. I don't know if I want Penny at this point, but I'm gonna, you know. Boss's order. Yeah, I just want to keep disrupting them. That's my goal. Just keep slowing them down. No, they have retreat board, so they have rescue board. Don't do that. So I will Arven here. Yeah, I guess I misplayed things. I Nest Ball and get do that so they can't one-shot me. Also, right? Might as well just slow them down a little bit too. Slow my opponent down. Genesec's good as well, but I mean, I need to get him down next, I think, right? That's the thought there. Do I want to allow them to one-shot me? Maybe. Right, I'll just end turn here. Well, no, I will just draw some cards. They can knock out giving up prizes. I'm starting to fall into the trap of giving up prizes too much, and that's not a good situation. I want to fall behind so I can use Counter Catcher, right? I don't have to rely on boss. I want to Counter Catcher. I get knocked out. I set up Snorlax. I gust up Radiant Greninja. The question is, do they play Penny? I think they do. And once they get that play off, I'm in a lot of trouble, right? Now, the one thing is, you know, they do tend to dig through their deck some, right? Professor Sada's Vitality draws a bunch of cards. They use Secret Box, which digs in the deck. So, I mean, that's good. Look, they get to attack here. That's good. Do they have enough energies at some point to attack with this other Teal Mask Ogerpon? I don't know. And if they do, then that Mew might not be able to attack as well. So they're getting targets for my, to gust. I'm getting more and more targets to get something stuck in the active. So I'll gust up. Do I want to set up the Snorlax with the tool? Maybe I set up the Snorlax without the tool. That's what I'm starting to think here. Because the tool helps if I can control what's attacking into me, right? That's my thought there. Where are they going to put the damage? On the Snorlax? Onto the Rotom? Yeah, probably both there because he's got the tool they don't want to deal with. So that's a good play. So I have Arven. I can stop them from utilizing. So Arven, get this. Drop down my tool as well. I like that. Yeah, this is good. This is good. So I will drop down Genesect so they can't use Prime Catcher, right? Oh, they can't use Prime Catcher anyway. So that was really foolish of me. I need to pay attention and wake up to what's going on here, right? But get him stuck, gusted up anyway. So that was really dumb on my part. It was beyond dumb, really. And not him. Don't drop him down. Just drop this guy. Rotom V. Okay. Not bad. Okay. And yeah, actually, Neutralization Zone could be a game changer too, right? Then all I can do is attack with Flutter Mane. I mean, they can take out my Rotom V, but they can't take out my Genesect. So I shouldn't have benched the Genesect. I was really dumb. So obviously, don't do that, right? Pay attention. My opponent already played their A-Spec, and so they, so they got boss. They take prizes. It's okay. And then I have Penny in hand, so I'll just Penny up the Genesect and just try to, hopefully everyone forgets that I made that dumb play, right? So they have the board. So as long as the nice thing is they have the board from their standpoint. That was a good play, because as long as they gust something up from the bench, they can now take 2 prizes. I will send up Snorlax with the tool. It's all good. So powering up Mew, that's a smart play as well. He will one-shot Snorlax if I don't have a tool attached, right? That's the other thing. So the tool forces them to 2-shot me. They do have to discard some energies from board. That's good as well. So see where they get rid of energies from. Those are more targets I could gust up for Snorlax, right? Like, as they don't have energies, at some point they're going to run out of energies. And I don't have the ability to stop them from playing rods. So I should not have benched Genesect. So I kind of wasted, I set myself back like 2 turns by doing that. So I'm going to just scoop him up now, because that was dumb. I shouldn't have had to do that turn. And I will attach the charm here. And I'll just end turn. I might want to drop down Neutralize. Oh, I forgot to gust, didn't I? What did I do? I forgot to. All right, I needed to boss that turn. It's sorry. I'm being an idiot now. I'm being an idiot. So I completely flubbed that play, right? So I needed to gust up. I mean, what was I thinking? I wasn't thinking, right? The reality is I was not thinking. So I have boss. So I need to boss this turn. I burned 3 Arvens, so that's not ideal either. I mean, it's just not the smartest plays I've made this game. I got a phone call during that game that kind of got me distracted. I will grant you that. Now that's just on me. I still need to play the game right, I just needed to. I can't believe that. So my opponent's really going though. They're really going for it here. So I think they're in a lot of trouble. Is what I'll say. I think they're in a lot of trouble here. Do they play a stadium? I don't know if they do either. So dropping down Neutralization Zone could win me the game as well. So I think I boss and I put down Neutralization Zone, because that just gets the most pressure on them, right? And then I have plays for the next turn, I guess. I don't have. I need to get Arven back in the deck too. That I need to do, right? So they have knockout. I mean, I was just really dumb. I can't believe that I needed to gust, right? I was like thinking, it's okay. I still can win the game. I'm saying okay. I'm trying to tell myself, don't freak out, don't panic, right? Because, and they discard the right number of energies, so that's all good there. So I play boss. I drop down my stadium, and I will play boss here. I'm going to Pal Pad at this point. Get back. I want Arven. I want both Arvens, right? Because, yeah, I want Arven. I want double Arven, because I need Prime Catcher. I mean, Counter Catcher is what I possibly need. So, and I will end a turn. So now they're only attacker that can work as Flutter Mane. And that is tough for them, because if they hit into the Snorlax with The other tool, they don't knock him out. I do have Penny as well. They don't one-shot me, so it's not bad, right? If they can't bump my stadium, they're going to lose. So we'll see what happens, right? So they're going to Iono, I guess. I don't know if they're just prolonging the game at that point. I don't know if they have an answer here. So the stadium might win me the game. I might win this game despite my poor play, right? Yeah. I really got distracted there. You know. Okay. I mean, the more they dig, the better, right? The more they discard, that just speeds up the end of the game. So they grabbed an Iono. Are they going to play it? They know what's in their deck now. They know what's in their hand. They know what's in their deck. They know if they have an answer to this situation. Okay. I mean, if they're just trying to drag the game out, that's not a smart play, right? So what are they getting back with that? I don't know if they play. Do they play Canceling Cologne? They need to do it twice. They played 2 boss, but you know I'm not going to bench anything else here. I could bench Pidgeot V and shuffle in my deck at some point just to let them know I'm infinite there. I mean, they kind of should know that, right? So Super Rods, they're okay. So they're just dragging the game out, I suspect. Look, it does help them if they have an out, getting the energies back. The energies do help. The odds of the bosses helping them aren't good, right? At least they didn't. They could have Iono'd and saved the Pal Pad to get back the Iono and really drag things out. So, if I do get the Xerosic Machinations, I play it now because I discard a bunch of cards, and that's really what I want to do, right? I want to slow them down, right? I'm not going to deck out, obviously, but Xerosic Machinations is good. So now they're not. So now all right, so look, this game, once again, I think my opponent's slow playing, so I'm going to kind of pause. I'm going to just keep the record running, but I'm going to pause my commentary, and I'm not going to probably pick things up until the game ends or something happens to change things. All right, well, I'll pick things up here. My opponent hasn't been slow playing, but they're dragging it out. I'm going to play Xerosic Machinations. They're down to 1 card in hand. I recovered Pal Pad, so I think they might be out of Ionos. I'm not sure. They might have one in hand. I didn't see one when I Eri'd or Misfortune Sisters, but I don't know if I've seen all their cards. And I don't think they have Pal Pad. They actually played Pal Pad and recovered 2 boss, so if they wanted to drag out the game, then saving the Pal Pad for the Iono would have dragged it out more. I'm infinite, of course, with Pidgeot V, and also, so, and I'll Pal Pad there. Why don't I Pal Pad, get back, Xerosic Machinations, and Misfortune Sisters. I'll do that. So I can hit both cards in hand and cards in deck, and down to 1 card in deck. So, and I don't think they can recover things, but, you know, so got the W, so I will just end game here and get the win. If I play like Misfortune Sisters, I might have locked the game up, right? So, and I do get the W, did get to play Xerosic Machinations. It didn't matter because they were out of Ionos, but, you know, obviously it could have helped the game. So, look, so Snorlax did its Snorlax stuff. I played 2 games with it, got 2 wins. My opponents kind of dragged the games out. They didn't fortunately slow play. They weren't making a whole bunch of useless moves or taking a ton of time between things. Wait till the timer starts to count down. Some people do that, but they did continue to make plays long after they were out of options. But hey, Snorlax wins. You got to respect it. And let's jump into the full deck overview and some of my thoughts about these new cards and what cards stay in the deck and what cards might not be worth keeping. All right, so I'll give a quick deck overview and some of the new cards in it. So, and some changes I might make. So for Snorlax, you know it does the block ability. Pidgeot V just makes the deck infinite way too easily. I've complained about that in the past. I think it's too easy to make your deck infinite with this. It's a little bit mindless. Don't love that. Mimikyu, just a nice little walling option. The deck doesn't necessarily need that, but it's just another way to slow them down. That's what we want to do here. 2 Rotom V, super important. So that's why 2 copies. Getting Rotom V in play at the start of the game, you need it. You need 2 copies. And Genesect, the first of the new cards with A-Spec Nullifier, could be good. It has some value. It's not huge. The deck plays tools already. You need to attach a tool to nullify A-Specs. Certainly, like if a deck plays Prime Catcher, it's good to stop it. And some decks play Prime Catcher and or Scoop Up Cyclone, let's say, and they play like Cyllene, in which case 8 Genesect's really huge in a deck like that, where they can utilize it twice. So it's just one deck slot since we play tools already. So I think it's not a bad include. I don't think it's a must, but it's not a bad idea. There's Pheasantipity EX that the deck could get. If I put in some other cards in the deck, I might play it, right? With the Flip the Script, if your Pokemon was knocked out last turn, you draw 3 cards. I think with this deck, though, getting Rotom V is actually more important, in part because we're not taking prizes with the deck, so we never get like Iono to 1 or 2 cards in hand, right? We always, even if I get Iono, we're drawing 6 new cards. So I don't think the deck needs Pheasantipity. I don't think I want another 2 prize liability, but you could play it in the deck. I don't think it wants it. So no energies in the deck. If you're playing Chiyu, right? That's, how do we spell that, by the way? I can't even remember. This is it. Chiyu. Got it. Chiyu EX, right? With Zealously Singe is really good in the deck. I think I would put that in to make a better Snorlax deck. You discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. That's just really important. If your opponent also has something for the mirror where they play Pidgeot V or just something else where they can kind of keep their deck infinite, having that discard is really good. You want to wait till your opponent's really down in the game, but that is really good in the deck, I think. And also Cornerstone Mask, Ogerpon. I include at least 1 copy of that. With Cornerstone Stance, prevents damage done by attacks to this Pokemon if the Pokemon has an ability. So you have that. You have Mimikyu, so a couple good walling options, and I would just kind of include those Pokemon in the deck, probably in a top tier. I think my preferred list for Snorlax. So two Switch carts. It's all basics. It makes a ton of sense here. Xerosic's Machinations, 1 copy of that. This is a must include in the deck based on this. In fact, I think this is a 2 copy include in the deck. I really like it. The game it was prized. I was really sad by it. And even the other game, it was good. So it's going to be good most of the time. It just speeds up the games a lot. So Xerosic's Machinations, drop it in the deck. I think it's a definite include. 2 copies probably there. For Arven, you want that. 2 Aries. Yeah, I think that's fine. I happen to think Misfortune Citrus is better in the deck most of the time than Eri, because usually your opponent, if they get Switch, they usually play it. Now, the one time my opponent grabbed Switch Cart, they didn't play it, and I knew they had Switch Cart, so Eri was the perfect play then, but that was more a misplay on my opponent's part. They should not have made that play, right? Once they got Switch Cart, they had to play it. They let me know it was sitting in their hand, so that I think was more a miscalculation by my opponent. 1 Defiance Vest is good. Again, we need tools, especially with Genesect, but you need some tools anyway. 4 Counter Catchers, super awesome. With the 4 Arven, it's just super, super great. 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball. You could put a second one in, I guess, if you have a lot of one-ofs, but we do play Cyllene, and I definitely would put Cyllene in the deck, so we could recover it if necessary. Luxurious Cape. It's good. It gives you plus 100 HP on a single prize Pokemon, but if they knock you out, they take 2 prizes. That's not ideal. I'm not playing Hero's Cape because I'm playing the Neutralization Zone. If I played Hero's Cape, which I think might be better, I'll talk about that when I get to the A spec, I might drop Luxurious Cape. Handheld Fan, I like that in the deck. Just move some energies off, just more disruption. 1 Artazon, just good, helps us set up. It can be very good. Helps your opponent too, so you just got to think about it. 1 Super Rod, definitely need that. I'm not playing Night Stretcher. If I was playing, and that's a really good new ace spec, by the way, Night Stretcher. You put a Pokemon or basic energy from the discard pile into your hand. If I was playing, especially like the Chiyu or the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, you want this. That way it goes right from the discard pile into hand, so you can easily set it up to attack with it or get in the active again. If your opponent had to do like a lot of work to get around the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, they had to cancel a clone. They probably can't do it again, so boom, you want to get him back in the active as quickly and easily as possible. So I think Night Stretcher could be good in the deck. Where was I? I was at Rod. Erika's Invitation, 1 copy, really good. Look at their hand, put a basic on the bench and switch it. We need to get Pokemon stuck in the active, so this gets it from the hand. It's very good there. 1 Iono, potentially good. Cyllene, yeah, you need Cyllene for sure, no doubt. 2 Misfortunes, I like it. I would not go less than 2. 4 Pokégear, yes. I mean, if you really had to, you could obviously reduce the number, but it is quite good in the deck. 3 Temple of Sinnoh, you could cut that number. It doesn't need 3. It is tough. Lugia is tough, so it helps with that, or in Legacy Energy, but it's not crucial. 3 Pal Pad. You could go to 2, 3's nice though. I like having 3, 4 Penny, yes, for sure. 4 Seal Stone, a must. 4 Nest Ball, yes. The Neutralization Zone, I like it in the deck. I could say it's okay. It gives you another win condition to decks where you can't get them stuck in the active. So it might be the right include. I'm not positive on that. That one is it Neutralization or Hero's Cape? I think that's the choice here, right? Plus 100 HP, which is also really good. I think that's the choice there. I'm not sure which is better. Time will tell on that one to me. Accompanying Flute, super key. You need 4 copies. Yell Team Yell Cheer, yes. Bravery Charm, and Boss is Order. So I think those were all the cards in the deck, obviously, and I think I hit all the new cards, hit the options. Still, look, Snorlax is a really good deck. This is not the best build, but it was a good build to test things out. If you want to do some more testing, you can just kind of tweak with the new cards. I think just keep this really basic vanilla set of Snorlax without the other attacking options, and just see what value you get, like drop Neutralization Zone, put in Hero's Cape, something like that. You could drop in Fezandipity EX, see what that brings. Even Night Stretcher, you could make some... It's a decent way to evaluate the new cards, I think, with a kind of a generic vanilla build of an old deck and see what the new cards do. Anyway, Snorlax is good, whether you like it or not. It's good, and it's going to be here to stay, and only gets better with every new set up until it rotates. And I got to say, I am kind of looking forward to the day we do say goodbye to it.